Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. Big bull market day out there in response to the CPI. Just a note, after the video yesterday, I did get some emails. I'm going to go over them this weekend, so bear with me. So CPI reaction, obviously extremely bullish, a lot of short squeeze. One of the biggest market days I've ever seen. The NASDAQ was up over 7% and it's still higher after hours right now. So clearly a short squeeze is underway. And the question is, how far can this move take us? Is big money coming off the sidelines to say that's our bottom and we're now anticipating to head up into the end of the year? These are things that we're going to be looking for clues and for answers to. And we do still have some proving to do from the bulls on some names with key resistance levels in play tomorrow. I'll look at those in just a moment. But overall, I'm a bit surprised by the magnitude of this move. It's obviously the market was extremely wrong about CPI, but the reaction that we're seeing is almost as if the market was saying, no way do we see CPI lower than expected. And for me, what's the probability that CPI comes in lower than expected? For me, it would be, 45% chance or something like that. So the market clearly was pricing it at a very, very low possibility. And so now we have this move. Also could have to do with, the fact that crypto was so weak and we had that whole situation. Maybe bears got overly confident into CPI. But either way, what we have now on the S&P 500 is a regained daily uptrend with a higher low and a higher high. And we have broken to the highest level we've seen in a couple months, just about. A little bit less, 5 weeks, 6 weeks or so. Is this a weekly uptrend? Some people would argue, yeah, that's a higher low and higher high. For me, it's not clear. So I always default to zooming out for clarity. And I go to the monthly time frame and say, okay, this is where the battle has to take place. Because on this monthly bounce, if we do not break 43.25, let's just go to SPY. If we do not break 430, it's just a monthly lower high. And then we would be watching for maybe an inverse head and shoulders to try and form, but I'm not going to look that far in advance. That's too far out for me personally. But that's the key resistance level. And that level right now is still about 10% from where we stand, a little bit less than that. So on this bounce from the low, we are up at this point about 13%, and we need to see another 10%, 9% to get up to that resistance. So we're going to be watching. Obviously, the trades that we're looking for from here are hourly higher lows. We're going to look for the bulls to try and keep the strength going. How long can this short squeeze follow through for? So hourly higher lows will be our guide. Back burner, we're going to be watching for first 5-minute oversold conditions on a lot of individual names. Just looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a lot of work to do, but we hit 5-minute oversold conditions midday today, and that marked our hourly higher low into continuation. So that's what the bulls want to see. That shows me more than just shorts covering. That shows me bulls buying the dip as well and taking money off the sidelines and putting them into play. While we're on the topic, Bitcoin still has a lot of work to do. This is the 12-hour chart. We're just looking for a 12-hour lower high, but the size of the bounce will have us scouting a 12-hour higher low as well. I may look to grab a position on a 12-hour higher low using the recent low as our stop, but that remains to be seen. But it's one of our weakest sectors after all the drama over the last couple of days. Obviously, a lot of the stock market sectors are much healthier. So extremely strong day for the bulls. For me personally, I didn't do a whole bunch of trading today. Thursdays, I schedule my appointments and things, which not a good day today to do that. But I went into the CPI flat. And so my IRA and everybody's IRA is looking real good today. And my day trading account that had some bearish positions to offset if it were a bearish reaction, that was obviously red. So I missed a big chunk of the move today, but going to be looking for hourly higher lows and just going to take it one day at a time as always. Next resistance for SPY. After the high of today, we're going to be looking up at 400 psychological and then 401.45 before a little gap fill. But pretty much 400 psychological is what we're watching from here. A little support level was established today, and that was at 388.97. So anything above that will be an hourly higher low next time we pull back. NASDAQ still has work to do. So the NASDAQ is testing a double top on the daily here right now, and we need to break that level. We're trying to follow SPY. If we do QQQ divided by SPY, we can see that we had a green day today, but we got a lot of work to do if NASDAQ's going to lead on the way up. It had a lead today, but again, it's just one day. So can the NASDAQ bulls play catch up? Because right now the S&P 500 is over this resistance level and the NASDAQ is not. So bulls still have a bit of proving to do. But again, this move is following through after hours. Bulls are just keeping this grind up going. And it is just a straight up short squeeze as what is going on right now. And so if you're a bear, you're going to be patient here because you don't want to get caught up in this short squeeze. And you want to have a level that you're going off of and using a stop loss rather than just scaling in saying it's too extended. We know this is a wild market right now. It's also not a very liquid market, which means moves get exaggerated in both directions. And of course, this is based on fundamentals. So RSI is a lot less helpful here. So I wouldn't suggest just going bearish because we're overextended. We have to have a setup, a resistance level that we're playing off of, and some kind of sign of initial weakness. Because for me, there's nothing saying that we can't go up another 5% from here over the next 5 days. Not necessarily saying that's the most likely scenario, but it's definitely a possibility. So don't want to get caught in a short squeeze. The dollar is doing what the market bulls want to see and what the dollar bears want to see. We were watching for the potential of this to be a falling wedge after yesterday, but now the bears are following through. We just confirmed a little bear flag into the lower low. Clearly the monthly consolidation is now underway, and we're watching monthly EMA 12 as an initial target. And we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And with that monthly consolidation, that's bullish for all these assets that we look at every day. Semiconductors, very significant follow through here as well. Definitely lead bulls today. NVDA was up something like 12 or 13%. Just a monster move. It still has earnings early next week, but SMH, very impressive. And so we're looking at resistance from here up at, there's a gap fill that we're in right now. The gap fills at 215.32, and then 218.83 is the next level from there. And now this weekly bounce after today is starting to give us some space above that recent low. Healthcare sector. And again, remember the bearish reaction? I don't even remember what it was a bearish reaction to. Was it FOMC? We had the bearish reaction here, and the key was, can XLF and XLV hold daily EMA 12? And here we are hitting higher highs as bulls did keep that consolidation healthy. So now we're looking at the highest level on XLV that we've seen in 6 months almost. And again, this long-term chart is very bullish. You look at this 4-month chart, it is a bull flag. So healthcare is probably going to be the first major sector to head back to all-time highs if we see bulls keep control. We got a new short-term support level at 131.28 to see if the bulls can maintain their daily uptrend. And the next level here, we're in an area without a clear resistance zone. So we're looking up at 136.40 as the next level from here. And the daily uptrend will be our guide. Bulls have complete control on the daily chart as long as the daily uptrend remains. Financial sector, same deal. Higher low and higher high. Big move up. 35.78 is a key level. If we get over that, it's the highest level in 7 months. Weekly time frame, tons of space for a weekly higher low. If we were to reject from here, we would be looking for a potential inverse head and shoulders, but that remains to be seen. We would have to essentially lose the daily uptrend real quick if we were going to fail 35.78 resistance. But keep in mind, we will see weekly consolidation here, and it's then up to the bulls to confirm the uptrend. XLF has not confirmed a weekly uptrend since the all-time high. So we need to see these things on these longer term time frames where we can say, okay, that's the first time that's happened in X amount of months for it to be a notable shift in the longer term trends. So the bulls are setting themselves up for it, but we're going to have to see this follow through probably before the end of the year if we're going to have confidence in the bottom being set. IWM, it was weaker. We double bottomed at daily support, and now we're testing resistance. So still a little bit weaker. We got to get over 185.60. Then we look up to a gap fill at 187. And again, it's growth names that are definitely still weaker. You look at ARKK, it's a big day, but it has a ton of work to do. Even the biotech sector has a bunch of work to do. It's still range bound. We're not over the high of last week. So 85.08 key resistance, but it just shows us that growth is clearly weaker. Cannabis names have a good day. Well, we saw a pullback there. Definitely relative weakness, hourly consolidation into the close when we closed at the high in the broader market. What cannabis bulls on MSOS have to be cautious of 2-day time frame, nah. I'm trying to find the clarity here, but the higher lows are nice and clear. 1006, 1011, 1044, 1313 is the resistance level, but it is possible that we trade within this range for a long time. And if we were to lose the daily higher lows without breaking 1313, that would confirm that we're going to remain real tight. We look at CGC. CGC is trying to get over 389. There's a wall of resistance here. Triple top. That's a key level in play. But trying to make these longer term moves here and shift momentum on these extremely weak sectors previously. Man, they are still squeezing after hours here. QQQ just keeps hitting higher highs. Very impressive. We might even get a gap up. Biotech, who's else? Silver. So silver and gold performing well with the dollar weakness. Gold playing some catch up. Gold having a more bullish day than silver. And again, just putting in more and more signs of longer term bottoms here. We had a triple bottom and now we're breaking resistance. And we know silver has been stronger. Silver to the highest level in many months. The miners continuation here. 35.26 key level on GDXJ. We've been basing out, building this base of support, and now we're trying to shift momentum for the bulls to go on offense and have some of these shorts be forced to cover. Oil, still not doing a whole lot for the bulls, holding on, but if the bears are going to take over on oil, again, it's that daily downtrend that has to confirm, just like the dollar just did. We saw the initial weakness from the dollar. Okay, that's great. Prove follow through, and they did on the bear flag. So an oil bear needs to see that follow through on a daily lower high and lower low. And natural gas, also trying to get its bounce going, 12-hour. And now we're looking for a 12-hour lower high, anything under 6756. And shout out to Imad in the chat room. Imad shared with us that he had been red trading natural gas on his own for 5 years, lost a lot of money. And then a year ago, he dedicated his time to technical analysis and he got all those 5 years of losses back this year. Just trading natural gas with some help from Jungle Funk Joey in the chat room. So awesome to hear that. Imad, good work. It's never too late for technical analysis. All right, so that's where we stand. A ton of individual names showing a lot of strength, obviously. Amazon with a little short squeeze. But again, we're in a daily downtrend. Still a ton of work to do. And all these big tech names still have a lot of proving to do. Microsoft is the big tech name that is proving the most over the last week of trading. And Meta has had help with its layoff news. Big time reversal on Meta. But as far as Apple and Amazon, big picture, there's still work to do. You know, we're not even at the highest level in 2 weeks on Apple. So Apple and Amazon are going to have to turn into lead bulls if the NASDAQ is going to continue to lead this move up. We know those are the two major generals, Microsoft as well, but Apple and Amazon are key, and they do still have relative weakness, I mean, aside from today. But again, one day is not enough. Amazon has to confirm a daily uptrend from here. Tesla, same thing. Tesla's a daily inside bar. There was relative weakness still there today. Tons of space for a daily lower high. If I'm looking bearish, I'm scouting Tesla for a daily lower high, knowing that we can bounce another 10% and still form it. So congrats to the bulls. We need follow through, but definitely increases probabilities that we are seeing a temporary bottom. And what we need to see now from the Fed, because what is happening today is also a lot of pricing in that the Fed is going to slow down raising rates. So next FOMC meeting, Powell needs to come out a little bit more dovish and talk about slowing things down to appease the market bulls, because again, that's what's starting to be priced in based on that CPI print that we got this morning. All right. Do good things. Appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Something weird going on with my chart right now.